What's up, everybody? Packmaster here, and today's video is going to be a bit different. I just want to cover some things here and there, kind of touch on multiple topics at one time. So number one, Rocky Talk is shutting down on May 31st. I don't know why. It just said they were shutting down, so, rest in peace, Rocky Talk. Next is, if you don't pay attention to the Brave Frontier Twitter, especially like global, and I think Europe mentioned this as well, or if you just like follow or just like look at some of the stuff, basically what the Brave Frontier saying tweeted out was that they're going to be doing a special live stream for the Brave News channel on the 27th, which is next Saturday. Obviously tomorrow's going to be Saturday, then that next Saturday will be the live stream day. So I'm going to cover some topics that I think will happen on the live stream. Now, I have a list on my desk. You guys can't see it, and I do apologize about that. But just try to listen carefully as I try to talk about this. I'm moving my mic around to make sure you guys can actually hear me well. Sorry about that. But anywho, I'm going to cover a couple things like Omni Plus, the Event Bazaar, the future of Brave Frontier 1, and when Brave Frontier 2 will start, and what Omnis I believe will be coming out pretty soon. So, we'll start off with the easy thing, and that's the future of Brave Frontier 1. The future of Brave Frontier 1, I'm expecting it's going to last for quite a while. I'm hoping it's going to see at least its 5th or 6th birthday. Whenever that is, I think it's going to be quite a while from now, but I really do hope that Brave Frontier will be alive long enough to at least see a 6th birthday, and they don't announce like we're canceling it or anything. Because if they cancel it, then I'm going to take pictures of all my units and all the stuff I had in there. And, sad times. But also, I'm going to predict when the start of Brave Frontier 2 is. Because that's been a topic that's been buzzing around a little bit of the community. So I'm going to go for global Europe and Japan. Japan will be last. I said that out of order as it is on my list. But in global, I'm expecting Brave Frontier 2 to be coming out winter of 2018. Why? Because, hopping back to Japan, breaking the order a little bit, they mentioned that it would be coming, I think, in summer of 2017 or early 2018. So I'm assuming, here's hoping, that it's going to be out in 2017 of the summer of 2018. 2017, I'm sorry. And in Europe, it'll be same time as global or early 2019 or fall of 2019 or spring of 2019, because Europe is kind of slow on integrating things. I mean, I'm not saying it to bash Brave Frontier Europe. Don't get me wrong. They have a lot of good units. Arthur, Lancelot, pretty much the whole Neo Avalon batch, all the Badlands batch, all of the, I'm going to call them Apex units, like Zavala, Cardes, Maxwell, Juggernaut, like all those units, like they're basically their regular names, but they're like spelled backwards. I kind of like that because it gives like a separate twist on like what these characters could be. Like for Maxwell, it's I can't really explain it, but for like Cardes, they have like Cardes be like this scholar dude. He's like called Rift Scholar Sidrek, and that's Cardes spelled backwards. That's the only thing I know how to pronounce. So. There's that. So since I got those two things out of the way, I'm going to go with the next two things, Omni Plus and the Event Bazaar. Now, if you guys don't know, they put a patch in that basically says the Event Bazaar is coming, but it's not going to be here right now. Obviously, I'm assuming that to be next month. I'm assuming that to be either next month or the end of this month. So like the 27th, there's going to be a patch or there's going to be an update that gives us that thing. But for other Omnis like Roa, Kafka, and Roa, Kafka, Libera, and any other Omnis that are coming out soon, we're expecting those to come out about at the end of the month. And for Shida, that got released in Japan, we're kind of going to see him next month in June, maybe in the middle of the month. So that also covers another thing out of the way. And the next part is Omni Plus. That's going to be coming out actually pretty soon, I think. Maybe next week. They're gonna like put a patch in that says like, oh, we're gonna get Omni Plus working, and they're gonna like release a couple things of Omni Plus, like a couple of the special items they said they put in the game for Omni Plus. So there's that. Now on to the big section. Sorry if this is kind of rushed and a bit fast paced, but like this is the first half of the list. I don't have that much else on the list except for me writing down stuff and all this other crap. Okay, so I'll get on to this stuff too. So, Omnis that I can kind of see in the future are Darvinshaw. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are going to look at me like, what, why? And, they're going to go, well, my opinion is, this unit, and fuck Darvinshaw. Okay, cool. Now, when I mean Darvinshaw, I mean Darvinshaw and a couple other Omnis. I'm not saying, like, that's just it. Because at the bottom, I put other legacy units, Lancia, Idea, Tierfing Alpha, if any of you remember Brimstone Emperor Alpha, because Taser Cannon, Kira, and Fiva all got Omnis. What about Alpha? He is like the head of the batch, like, where's his Omni? So there's that. Also, this is going to kind of be a bit out there, but this is going to seem pretty stupid for me saying this, but maybe even Lario, Gaiabo Lario. I don't know why. But for units, for a unit that was on the, what is it called? The Level Up campaign, that was just like, kind of like given to you. It kind of feels like there's a bit more to him. Mifune. They gave him an Omni. So where's Lario's Omni? Like, if Lario doesn't get an Omni, it's not that bad because I have a bunch of other things, like Kikori, Cephia. I don't think I mentioned Tierfing yet, but Tierfing from the Brave Frontier and Phantom of the Kill collab, character like that, and maybe Kyo Kusanagi. I'm not sure if he already has Omni yet, but hopefully if we get another King of Fighters thing, we'll probably get that. And I put other event units like Bonnie, Jack, Nick, Eva, and Samira. So those are just units I'm kind of like speculating on at the moment. But units that I know for a fact that have kind of been like confirmed are things like the Soulbound Saga units. Tridon, Ultor, Zetus, Aurelia, and Andaria, I think. I think Andaria is one of them. I'm not entirely sure. But like those units, like Hadaron, of course. Couldn't forget my boy Hadaron, rest in peace. I accidentally got rid of my Hadaron because I'm stupid. Also, I got rid of my Bonnie as well, so I'm obviously going to assume just as I get rid of my Bonnie and just as I get rid of all these other units, they're going to go, and they're getting Omnis, and I don't have any money to get gems to summon for them. So, yay me, There's that. Also, I'm assuming the Enroth units. I'm not really assuming them. It's kind of written in stone because at one point Niami was second on like a global exclusive Omni list. Like, people were voting, right? It was like a long time ago that people were voting. It was like 2015, I think. That people voted for a unit to get Omni Evolution. A lot of people voted, I think, for Zeruya and a couple others. And Niami, I think, fell in second or third place. So, since Niami made it on that list, the other Enroth units have to get Omnis. Now, for things like the Soulbound Saga units and the Enroth units, I don't expect there to be a fucking quest or raid battle for it. Well, I could probably expect a raid battle for it. But I'm not fucking expecting a separate quest. Not a grand quest, but a quest. Or Grand Gaia Chronicle, because that would just be stupid. Now, don't get me wrong, Grand Gaia Chronicles are fun. But the current Grand Gaia Chronicles, like A Master's Wisdom and the other one, the Rausch, whatever the fuck his name is, Grand Gaia Chronicle, are kind of difficult even when you know what you're doing. Like, if you have units that, are premium per se, like limited edition units like Rain, Fina, Lid and Laswell, Sylvie, Zeruya, and a couple other units, Genoseto and Satea, you're going to have a pretty simple time because those units can kind of, they have buffs that others don't really have. But I kind of have the privilege of having a couple limited units on my hands. You know, I have Fang. I think I have Fang. Who else do I have? I can't remember who else I have that's limited edition. I think, but I mean, besides Cotton and Hido, which those guys were kind of just freebies. Cotton's not that great, but Hido's really fucking good because he's a powerful healer, and he's male, so he'll help out in that Frontier Gate courageous assault. So off of that tangent, and a unit that we're going to be getting, I think, will be Ezra. Now, Ezra was that unit. Sorry, there's like stuff on my nose. Ezra was that unit from way back in the Grand Quest. And I think in the raid battle, but I'm not entirely sure. But she was in the Grand Quest. And basically what the Grand Quest was, you had to like fight. Sorry, I was like, something on my nose. Something on my nose? No? Okay, cool. Sorry, but there was like something you had to fight. I was like, you had to fight Azurai in the Enoroth place. And it was like, oh, guess what? You know, you have to fucking save Ezra. You know, let's go. So I'm assuming we're going to get another Grand Quest or an extension on the story by form of raid battle and Grand Quest. But if they make it a trial, they have to make it a trial and not a strategy zone. Because most people now have Strife God Affludilith and Supreme God Zavalwa and Demonic Witch Zijing Omni and Cartes. Not me. I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck on all of them. Like, oh, I see all these people out there using double Regio leads, double Shions, or Rego Shion. I only have Arthur. Oh yeah, that's another limited unit. I have Arthur. So, besides that stuff, I mean, I really hope it's trial, because the trial, like, I hope they make it difficult, like Genius's trial, because I went through there. That was really difficult. I remember, like, I had one unit left, and I finally got the killing blow on that. I was, like, so happy. That was amazing. Now, I put Carl, Seria, Lugina, Paris, and Tillith down. That's only because I'm seeing them either A, being released in Brave Frontier 2 as a separate batch of units with Omnis, like, you know, 6-star, 7-star Omni, or we're going to get them in Brave Frontier 1, just, you know, at their current level to Omni, just getting them like another weapon or legendary item to evolve them into their Omni forms. Now, highly unlikely, don't get me wrong, it's very unlikely for that to happen, but, you know, it's still possible. Now, I also put like the founders of Elgaia, you know, not Freed, Reed and his batch of people. I can't remember all of them, but oh boy. Originally, these characters had dungeons, and I'm expecting them to get Omnis. Now, I'm not going to say Zenon and Estia because it seems highly unlikely for them to get Omnis. Now, don't say, oh, well, they're, you know, they have so much stuff. As like, no, they're probably not getting Omnis. If anything, they're probably going to get 7 stars, and that's it. Or if they just get or if they just stay the same. And if they get like an alt art, you know, who really cares? Also, I put the Beruria Empire units. Burdette. Melina? Yeah, Melina. Medina? Is it Melina or is it Medina? I can't remember, but... And then there's Radia. Basically, all the characters in Sirius's Grand Quest, except Sirius, will get an Omni evolution. That's what I'm thinking. Why? Because it seems likely. Because the Sphere is actually an item that's like, it says it's like to be held by like the last of the Beruria survivors or something like that. And what we know is that Burdette is kind of still alive in Beruria. Or they were sent off to Viliantiel, past the gate of Grand Gaia and Ishkria. So that's what I'm thinking, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I've covered every unit that I expected. I've covered the Omni Plus, I covered the Event Bazaar, the future of Brave Frontier 1, and the start of Brave Frontier 2. Now it's time to get to the last Omni unit that I think is going to get Omni. Next unit that I think is going to get Omni. Everybody's going to hate me for saying this. Everyone's just going to look at me and go, oh. But I think Gilnea has a very decent chance of getting an Omni. Because he was one of those units that was like highly sought after when he released. Because he was one of the only units that gave a light and dark attack to the attack buff. And, you know, besides Gra, because Gra was like really difficult. And if you had Gilnea, you were like, oh yeah, I have Gilnea. So that's what I'm thinking. Don't get me wrong. People are going to go like, oh my god, he's thinking Gilnea. But, you know, I think that's going to happen. But also I think, what's their faces? The Elemental Heroes and the Bearers of Burden are going to get next stage evolution. Or they're just going to stay the same and we're going to get an alt art or something about them. Probably not Bearers of Burden or Elemental Heroes like Oboro, Alma, Zeln, and the other guys. But that's what I'm thinking. Now also, if they do decide to actually redo the another collaboration event in October, probably like, I don't know which collab they're going to do, because right now we're getting Guilty Gear, which kind of at this time, roughly the same time of like a couple years ago, they had Shin Megami Tensei 4. So I'm not sure if that was like in the summer though. I'm not sure if it was deep summer like August, but I can't really remember. But if they do, they're probably going to have to give those collab units Omnis as well, because they gave some of the units from King of Fighters Omnis. They gave Mai, Iori, they gave a bunch of those units, Athena and Benimaru, I think. They gave them all Omni evolutions. So if they don't give like Miku, Luca, and other units at least a next stage evolution or an Omni, that would kind of seem weird, but it wouldn't seem unexpected, or it wouldn't seem just like unlikely to happen, because that's kind of like a wild shot. That's a really wild shot. Now, how likely is that to happen? Probably not likely at all. But if it does happen, they're probably going to get like a 7-star or an Omni evolution. Like, what was it? Sakura Miku did. Now, if they do decide to reopen that, that'd be pretty cool. But also, what I want them to do is reopen like a limited edition summon gate, or a choice summon gate. Like, you can choose what unit you get, like what they have in Japan. Because what they have in Japan is like, you can get Avant for like 15 gems instead of wasting upwards of like 50 just to get a couple just to get like 2 units. You can spend 15 for one actually good unit. So you can get like Avant, you can get Krantz, you can get Alimo. You actually can get Alimo for I think like 5 or 10 gems. No, not 5 gems, it's like 10 gems. Maximum is like 20 gems, and that's for like I think 5 stars, because it starts at 3 stars. Because I saw Idea on there, so it goes from like 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, up to the alpha batch. Sorry for me, fucking nose itches. So things like Avant, Krantz, Alimo, Taser, Canon, I think Kira and Fiva. I don't think Taser, Canon, Kira, and Fiva made it on there. I haven't checked Japan yet, which is the bad part. So I have to check Japan. Hang on, let me check Japan real fast. I'll check it and I'll update after this video gets released. So that being said, that's kind of like a speculation video I have for right now, guys. So that being said, you know, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I keep forgetting my phone's volume's turned up, but anywho, guys, hope you like this video. I'm gonna try to like update this list more and more, and as the days kind of like closes into this date, I'll kind of like divvy out like what's actually gonna happen versus what's not gonna happen. So that being said, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment to tell me what I can do better, or comment just to tell me you like my videos. And you know, like, because it actually really helps. It keeps me smiling. So that being said, guys, see you on the next video. Ooh.